What is up? My name is Mr. Winchell, and I am just incredibly excited to welcome you to the APUSH class for the 2020-2021 school year. While obviously this isn't the way that I would prefer to say hello to you and introduce myself, this is the reality that we're currently facing, and let me just be one of the first people to tell you that I promise we're going to get through this, that we're going to be okay, and that I'm going to do every single thing in my power to ensure that you still have everything you need to be successful in this class, even if it comes through a computer screen. And that I really, really can't wait to get back to school to see you all face to face. So welcome. What I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to walk you through some of the things you can expect, some tips and strategies to get you acclimated to what the course is going to look like, so that come tomorrow and come next week we can just hit the ground running, getting to know each other, working on the content, working on learning more about the world around us, learning more about why the world is the way it is around us. And I think there's no more fascinating subject to study right now in this time of great social change, of great unrest, and of um, historic events taking place on a regular basis. There's no better time than now to learn about some of the hows and the whys of how our society's gotten to where it is today. So I am incredibly eager to engage in this historical study all year with you. I'm really excited to teach you, and I'm just as excited, if not more excited, to learn from you. So first, welcome, congratulations on becoming a junior in high school. Thank you for enrolling in AP US History, and I look forward to getting to know each of you on an individual basis and as a group as we get through our school year. So again, I'm Mr. Winchell. This is what I look like. This is my home office. This is where you'll probably see almost all my videos coming from. I'll be hanging out here with this awesome big set of bookshelves behind me that have a bunch of history books. So the first thing you should know about me is I am a giant history nerd, which makes the job that I have teaching you history kind of the perfect job. So those of you who have had a chance to speak with, I've reiterated to you that my job is to love you, to support you, to teach you, to be there for you, to assist you, um, and I love my job. So before we go any further, I want to say again the same thing that I've said to many of you face to face when you came and pick up your textbooks, or I've said to you via email or via remind. This is my job, and I love my job. So don't ever hesitate to ask for help, to ask for assistance, to ask for what you deserve, especially now we don't get to see each other face to face. I'm going to need you guys to step up and advocate for yourself. If you need something, if something's not clear, if you want assistance, ask. All right? It's my job, and I love my job. So let's get going on the class itself that you have decided to enroll yourself into. The course is going to be broken into periods, referred to as like time periods, okay? So when I start saying things like period one, period two, period three, I'm not talking about like first, second, third period in the day. I'm talking about the College Board's assigned time period, okay? There'll be 9 of them that we'll cover. However, the first one, period 1, is only going to be maximum 5% of your test. So the nice thing is, congratulations. As of you finishing your summer homework, you are already done with period 1 of the APUSH curriculum. How good does that feel? Look at that. You've been back in school for like 9 minutes, and you're already done with one whole unit of APUSH. Life is good. So period 1 is only 5% of the test. So we won't spend a whole lot of time there. Period 9, the last period, the period that covers from 1980 to our present day, is also only 5% of the test, so we won't spend a whole lot of time there. The big meat and potatoes, the big chunk of our class will be spent between periods 2 and period 8. So what that means is we're going to really hit the ground running tomorrow with 1607 as the kind of the starting point for the launch of what becomes our study of AP US history. 1607, of course, is the year of the Jamestown settlement, which is the first successful British colonization attempt in North America, which, of course, begins the crazy domino effect of processes that lead us to where we are today. And again, we'll go through period 2 all the way through the end of period 8 and spend a whole bunch of time on each of them. Do not forget that you are enrolled in an AP class, and whether you have taken other AP classes before or this is your first AP class, what this means is that we have a lot of important work ahead of us. What this means is that you are technically enrolled in college level studies as a high school junior, which, I mean, take a second. Pat yourself on the back. That's a big challenge, but it's also something you should be proud of, that you're willing to step up to the plate and see what you're capable of, if and how you can better yourself for college, for life, for your future. And in the process, you get to learn way more about the world around us, which I think is vital. So really, this is a win-win. You being in this class is awesome. I'm excited to have you. Whether you got a C in your history class last year or you got an A in your history class last year, that doesn't matter. We get to start fresh. We get to start from scratch. And because it's an AP class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat you like college students every day of this school year because you're enrolled in the college class. So what that means is that I'm going to present challenging information to you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to ensure that you are being held to a college standard because it is what you deserve. It is absolutely what you deserve. And what this means is in May of next year, you'll sit down and take your AP US History test. If you pass, which I am fully confident that many of you will, if not all of you, who knows, let's go wild this year. If you pass, which means you earn a score of 3 or 4 or 5 out of 5. That means that you get free college credit. That means that you get to start college having already earned college credit, which means you get to graduate college that much sooner, which means you get to get on to all the important things you want to do in life that much sooner. So I say that to encourage you, right? Like, hey, let's do this thing. Let's get you a whole bunch of wins at once, right? More knowledge, more skill, more ability, more organizational structure, better writing, better reading. Let's do all that stuff for you. And while we're at it, earn you some free college credit so that you can start college on the right foot. Now, just for some housekeeping, if you will, the book we're going to be working from all year is called the AMSCO AP US History 2020 edition. This is not the textbook that I normally use if we were face-to-face, but because of the restrictions and the obstacles we have to overcome, what I've done this year is I'm using more of a simplified review book that gets right to the point. I know it can be challenging with all the other things that you have going on in your life right now to sit and read like a really hard, tough to get through, chewy chapter. So what I did was I found an awesome review book that covers the material we need to know, but in a very straightforward way. So that's the book. You have all been granted digital access that you can access on your Chromebooks. Some of you, like myself, like to read a hard copy of a book in front of you, which is why last week I set up 2 different days for you to come and pick up a book from school so I could pass it out to you and introduce myself and say hello. Thank you to all of you who came. It was so nice to meet you and be able to say hello and at least have a quick face-to-face interaction with the students that I'm so eager to get to know and to love myself. If you did not come get a book last week, but you still want one, what should you do? Send me a message. We'll figure it out. All right. And that's going to be one of the themes of this year. When you need something, say it. And I will always do everything in my power to ensure that you have what you need. Okay. So that's the book. It looks like this. See, it's right here on my desk, hanging out. With a whole bunch of other books on my desk. My desk has a lot of books. My life has a lot of books. My wife does not like the fact that I have all these books. But hey, here we are. Can't win them all, right? So that's the course. That's how it's broken down. That's why you should be eager and excited to engage in the work with me. Some routines that I want to at least preface today. Feel free to take notes if you want. This will all be included in a welcome email as well that you'll be getting today. Every week's going to look pretty similar. I'm a big believer in routine. I'm a big believer in consistency because I think especially now, given all the other obstacles we're dealing with in life, like knowing what to expect makes the doing of the work somewhat easier. Every week's going to look pretty similar. Every week before Monday, right? So Monday is your due date for this. You're going to have read your assigned textbook chapter or supplementary reading. You're reading for the week, so you're going to read about like the content we're going to cover the week. You're going to read ahead of time, okay? So that come Monday, you're ready to engage in the learning for that week. You'll have done the reading ahead of time. The reading chapters shouldn't take you very long, especially because of the book that I've chosen that is very straightforward. But it's up to you. It's up to you as a college level student to do the reading legwork before we get to the learning so that you have a foundation of knowledge about what it is we're going to be learning about and thinking about and applying our historical knowledge to. You have to at least come in with some background knowledge, and that background knowledge is gained via reading out of the textbook, okay? It'll normally be just one textbook chapter a week. Sometimes we'll spend more than one week on a topic, so maybe the second week will be like a supplementary reading, like you do this summer with some of the historian essays that are really, really important to read because it exposes you to some expert historical writing. On Monday, you're going to view an approximately, it might be a little more, a little less, depending on the week, approximately an hour-long college-style lecture. I'll record those on video. I will upload them for you. It's actually kind of fun that I'm currently in graduate school myself, getting a master's degree in American history, and that's the same way that I have to watch my lectures because it's online as well. So I have to watch these pre-recorded lectures, and then I get to engage in the live work. So it'd be kind of learning along the similar lines the way I'm learning at the graduate level, which is kind of fun. So you're going to watch approximately an hour-long college-style lecture. You're going to take your notes. You're going to answer discussion questions. And what that's going to do is going to preview for you all the big ideas of what we're going to spend the rest of the week on. Okay? Now, you will then, if you are in cohort A, you will engage in live learning with me on Tuesday. I have a period 1 and a period 5 APUSH class. And therefore, our class will be on Tuesday. And we'll have a live 90-minute session in which we'll dive a little bit deeper, right? I'll ask you to discuss things. I'm going to ask you to maybe go into some small group breakout rooms and chew on some hard questions and look at some text and analyze some political cartoons. What we'll do on the live session, we'll just take the Monday broad learning and dive in a little bit deeper for you, okay? Now, if you're in cohort B, that will happen on Thursday, which I will look very much forward to. And the day that you don't have quote-unquote live class with me, you'll still have work to do. You will have some supplementary activities that will build off of Monday's lecture to help you synthesize and organize your ideas. Maybe some practice questions, maybe some essay prompts to dive into and chew on. But that's how it always works. So Monday will be your launch of the week's content. Your live session will dive deeper, and your non-live session will just kind of build on the ideas and allow you to organize your thoughts in a good way. Now, each part of this routine matters because you need to get your reading done ahead of time in order to start the week correctly. And then you need to engage in the live learning to make sure that you're applying it well. And you need to do your supplementary learning to make sure that you're connecting all your dots and taking care of your business. And then by the end of the week, you'll have your weekly summative assessment, which will usually be like a little mini segment of an AP style question or something. It'll depend on the week. But all of this will always come to you via a weekly digital agenda email that I will send to you by Monday morning, usually Sunday night. It'll have all the links you need, a link to this assignment, link to that assignment, when it's happening, all those things. I'm not very good at Google Docs, so please bear with me. If I mess things up, let me know, and I'll happily apologize and try to fix them. But I'm going to do my best to make sure that you have in front of you all the organizational tools you need ahead of time so you know what's going on. Cool? Now, from a resource standpoint, these are some things you should be aware of. Google Classroom is going to be your best friend. Can I be honest and transparent with you? I'd never used Google Classroom before we had to go to distance learning last year. I'm kind of an old school guy. I like pen and paper. I like having things in front of you that you can hold and write on and annotate on. Unfortunately, given the situation that we find ourselves in, that's not possible. So I got decent at Google Classroom. So all your stuff's there. The text, you're going to need that as a good resource. You have access to the digital text as well as a hard copy if you chose. YouTube. YouTube is a very valuable resource. I've been uploading my videos to YouTube for a couple of years now. There's all kinds of good stuff up there. I have it hyperlinked at bit.ly/winchvids. It's a ton of videos. All this year's videos will be posted there, but you can also go back to review videos that cover like period reviews and content reviews and DBQ practice. All kinds of stuff is there. If you're looking for a specific video you want, like I didn't really understand this, I want this explained a different way, shoot me a message. I either have a video or I will make you a video or I will find you a video. You just let me know, okay? The website's pretty useful, but we're not going to be using it as much as years past because everything will be on Google Classroom. There's a bunch of cool stuff if you find yourself wanting to look around at mrwinchell.weebly.com. A lot of valuable resources, old PowerPoints, review activities, all kinds of stuff is there. It's helpful. And I want you to also think of me as your resource. If I showed you my Google Drive, you would be very, very overwhelmed because I have literally thousands of documents, of folders, of videos, of reviews, of organizers, of study guides, of all this stuff. that I don't want to overwhelm everybody with. But if you want something, if you need something, if something would be helpful, it's just there waiting for any engaged scholar to ask for additional supports. Just ask. If I don't have what you need, I'll make it. It's kind of the way it works. Okay, we're in this together. Now, this is what I expect out of you. I don't expect perfection. I don't expect immediate genius. I don't expect you to be the world's best writer or speaker or reader. I expect you to put your absolute effort in. Effort counts. Willingness to work and try and throw yourself into a challenge with the understanding that you might not be good at it at first, I think is one of the greatest traits any human can have. So that's it. First, I want you to just try it. I want you to dig in and dive in and be willing to throw effort into it with the understanding that it's not going to be easy at first for everybody. And that's totally, completely okay. Second expectation is communication. I need you to communicate with me. I need you to email me or remind me or send me a message on Google Classroom if things are going on, if you're falling behind, if there's obstacles at home that you're coming up against, just let me know, okay? I promise my job is to find a way to help you through your obstacles, but I can't do that unless you communicate with me. So just let me know what's going on, and please try not to be intimidated. I am here for you. I do this work for you because I love you and the process of growing together. So you got to communicate with me. If you need some, let me know. Third is honesty. All right, just be honest with me. Winchell, I couldn't get my homework done because I was irresponsible. Cool. You were honest with me. Let's figure out a way through it. Let's figure out a different way. Call it a day. All right. So be honest. Like I kind of said earlier, I need you to be willing to grow. I need you to be willing to struggle. I need you to be willing to do things that you're maybe not good at the first time, and that's totally okay. And the last piece I think is really important, especially given our distance learning situation, is integrity. I expect that you don't cheat. I expect that you don't finish your homework assignment and share all your answers with your friends. I do expect that you work together, and if you have questions, you can ask each other. That's not a bad thing. But I do expect that I do always say that if you're going to cheat on anything, you're really just cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself out of an opportunity to learn and to grow, and that makes me sad. So please don't do that, because the better way to approach that is to say, "Hey, Winch, I couldn't get my homework done. Can I have an extra day?" Because my answer then will be yes, as opposed to me asking you, "Hey, scholar, why did you decide to turn in the exact same homework as your friend?" So this isn't to say don't work together. I encourage you to work together. Please work together. Form study groups. Form homework accountability groups. All right, get wild. But do your own work, because the only person you're cheating when you don't take care of your work is yourself. And whether I catch you or not, it's going to come back and catch you at some point. So have some integrity. Now, who am I? Why am I here? Why am I shouting at you from my office? I am Mr. Winchell. You can call me Mr. Winchell. You can call me Winchell. You can call me Winch. I'm not a very formal person, so you can be as comfortable and familiar with me as you'd like to be. All of those names will work just fine. Just don't call me Mr., because I don't just call you students. Give me at least some semblance of my name. I always make a deal with my kids every year that if you pass the AP test, and next year when you're a senior, you can call me by your first name if you want. My first name if you want, which is, of course, is Craig. Lovely name. This will be my 7th year at New Earth Leadership Academy, which is a long time. And I'm very excited about this 7th year. I'm excited to engage in this work with you. Every year, I find myself more and more grateful for the opportunity and the privilege that I have to teach at New Earth Leadership Academy. In the past, I have taught APUSH. I have taught on-level college prep U.S. history. I've taught AP government and politics. I've taught African American studies. So I've taught it all. I currently serve as well as the department chair of the Social Studies Department. I also am entering my 2nd year as a school administrator. So you'll have the unique experience of having an administrator also be your teacher, which I think is really cool. It's kind of a hybrid role where I get to serve part of my life as an admin and part of my life as a teacher. This will be my 2nd year in that role as a director of instruction. Like I said earlier, I'm also a student like you are. I am getting my 2nd master's degree at Pace University, which is located in Manhattan, New York. This master's will be in American history specifically. I also have, from the University of Laverne, a master's in history education. So when I tell you to go to college and to get as much education as you can, I'm not just speaking because I think it's the right idea. I'm speaking because I also am an addict of education, and I haven't really stopped school since ever. So here we are. I've been married for 9.5 years to my beautiful wife, Allison. Uh, she works in the fashion industry, and we live in Monrovia, which is a small suburb about 15 minutes east of Pasadena. So I live about 25 miles from school. It's a long drive, but I don't have to make that drive this week because I'm here from my office working with you. But we live in Monrovia, which is awesome. My wife grew up here. We love it here. We bought a house here about 5 years ago, and then sold that house and bought another house about 2 years ago. Um, and it's nice to live somewhere where we're comfortable and happy. Um, but I do wish that it was a little bit closer to work for when I have to sit in traffic all the time. But that's no time soon. That's okay. Some things that I really enjoy when I'm not teaching you history is I love hiking. I'm fortunate to live somewhere where hiking is close by. I can take our new dog up the street and around the corner and go find a hiking trail and get out and get some nature. I've become a fan of running, which is crazy. I've always hated running until 2020. Even before the quarantine, Mr. Montes and I decided to run a 10K together, which was awesome. And then I kind of found out that I enjoyed running and it was good for my mental health and good for my stress relief. And then, of course, everything shut down. My gym shut down. The whole world shut down. So I just kind of kept running like Forrest Gump. So now I've become something of a decent runner that I enjoy. I love working out. I love cooking. I love to garden. I grow vegetables, which I think is cool because it allows me to like unplug a little bit and do something that's a little simpler. I love to read. Obviously, I mean, look at what's behind me. I'm a huge sports fan, specifically baseball and football. I love to travel, especially when there's not a pandemic and we can actually travel. It's one of my favorite things that I've done in adulthood is embrace the opportunity to go see new places and experience new things. And as I said earlier, I love learning. I love to learn. I think learning new things is one of the reasons I became a teacher is because it's the one job I think that allows you to be a student forever because you're never really done learning and growing more. So I love to learn. I hope to instill in you a similar love of history and learning. Um, and at the very least, we're going to have a good time while we're at it. Some pictures, because I think that's important. Oops, I went too far. These are just from my summer. Here are the tomatoes and peppers and zucchinis that I picked just the other day. My garden is quite successful, obviously. Check that out. Those tomatoes and peppers, beautiful. Also, fun fact, Mr. Montes and I have engaged in a very enjoyable salsa making experiment this summer, learning how to make new salsas and enjoying that with some of the veggies that I've made. That's been really cool. It's a cool thing to learn. See, learning something new. I learned how to make new salsa. And these rest of these pictures are from an awesome hiking trip that my wife and I took just a couple weeks ago to get away to my favorite place in the world, which is the Sierra Nevada mountains, which are about 5 or 6 hours northeast of here, where you can just get fresh air and unplug and not worry about technology or the world around you, but just embrace some beauty. So here's some cool pictures. Here's our awesome new dog, Oliver. He's awesome. He's adorable. He's a great dog. We rescued him just about 4 months ago in May. So he's been an awesome addition to the family, and he obviously had a good time on these hikes. Here we are in front of a cool place called Long Lake, about mile 6 or 7 of a nice long hike with the wife. Here she is with Oliver in front of a pretty lake as well. Here we are the day before, again, on a long hike, enjoying our nature. Here my wife is on the top of a really, really tall mountain, very angry at me that I'd made her hike that far, but very proud of herself, and I was very proud of her for conquering this big challenge. And here we are as our little family right around the corner from the cabin that we were staying at. So this is just to let you a little bit inside my life. I talk about my wife a lot. I'll talk about my dog a lot. We have our live sessions face to face. If you ever want to see the dog, you just let me know. Where's Oliver? And I'll call Oliver, and Oliver will come say hi. And I think it's important that we're familiar with each other and comfortable with each other because these relationships really matter to me. One of the things that I'm most worried about, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, is like not being able to develop the relationships that I think are so important for education. So I'm going to ask you to work with me and get to know me and allow me to get to know you as the school year goes so that we can best serve and support each other. Okay. Now, who are you? This is important. This is really important. Your only assignment for today, it's first day of school, the only thing you have to do is respond to the post on Google Classroom which I will post today. I just want to know a couple things about you. Think of this as your virtual introduction. You're going to tell me who are you? What's going on? What are some things you hope for this school year? It can be something as simple as I hope to, to get better grades, or I hope to learn about racism in America, or I hope to learn about the causes of the Civil War, or I hope to learn about whatever. Right? Let me know what you hope for the school year, specifically about APUSH. I want to know something that's not about school at all, a hobby or a fun fact, something you enjoy to do, something that makes you unique. And as well, anything else that you want me to know about you. If there's a specific way in which you like to communicate, or a way you like to learn, or something else that would help me better serve and better love and better support you, let me know. All right, it'll be confidential between you and I, and then that way I can work to make sure that my systems will work best for the way you need me to make them work for you. Okay? And the last thing I want on this, and this is of course my first typo, you'll see plenty of those, don't you worry, is your dream college or your dream job. All right? If you could fast forward 2 years and you're in college, what's the school you would love to go to, your dream school? Or fast forward 10 years, what is your dream job? All right? What's the career you want? So that's it for day one. Again, I'm so excited to have you. I'm so excited to engage in this work together. It's such important work. I think our country needs, especially now, a better understanding of our history and how we got here. And it's up to you now to be the next generation that understands this history and can actually do something about changing the world for the better. So with that, I wish you a good rest of your first day. And as I've said about 14,000 times, if you need anything, just let me know. Thanks much, and I will talk to you soon.